Okay, it is a time for Wallet Wednesday now. You know, the pandemic has left its mark on the housing market, impacting rental prices across the U.S.
And we know that some cities are feeling the effects of higher rent more than others. So joining us live to tell us about the most expensive and cheapest cities for renters, see where Portland stacks up, it's Brian Carberry with Apartment Guide. Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. It's an interesting topic to dig into here. I think we saw a lot of people moving around, making some life changes over this past year and a half or so. So what are the overall kind of trends that you're seeing right now in terms of cities with cheap rent, with really high rent? Where do things stand?
Yeah, you're right about that. For a while during the pandemic, people weren't moving just because everything was shut down. And then when things started reopening, before they shut down again, people were looking to move out. We did see a lot of changes really across the country. I think the main notable changes we noticed were some of the more expensive cities. Historically, prices started coming down, but that's like San Francisco, New York City. They're still really expensive. But if you want to talk about the most expensive place to rent right now, is in Culver City, California, which is basically LA, but not LA.
Right.
It's about $5,200 a month for a one-bedroom apartment.
Wow.
Compare that to Portland, and you're paying about $1,800 a month for a one-bedroom apartment.
I was
So
gonna
that's
say that makes my
more than
rent seem
twice.
not so bad.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all relative, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
What are the factors behind both the increases and then the decreases that we're seeing when it comes to rent?
A lot of it is supply and demand in specific areas, and every market's going to be different. There's certain economic factors that are going to be at play in, say, California that aren't at play in Oregon or Kansas or wherever it might be. A lot of it really has to do with just certain areas where there just aren't as much available units as other areas. It's going to create a little bit more competition, very similar to the housing market right now, where there's a lot of competition and bidding wars. We're seeing similar things, maybe not as extreme, in certain cities that are looking for rentals. And it's just really, if people are willing to pay those prices, landlords and property managers can ask it because they know they'll be able to fill it.
So let's talk about what's kind of the average rent nationally, and where do cities kind of stack up in regards to that?
Yeah, nationally for a one-bedroom apartment, you can expect to pay about $1,700, a little bit higher than that. A two-bedroom apartment is about $1,900. So, you know, these cities are much more expensive than that. Portland's actually relatively close to that national average. As I said, it's about $1,800 for a one-bedroom apartment. Of course, you're going to be able to find some places that are more expensive in the city, some places that are cheaper. This is an average, so it's right in the middle. Each neighborhood's going to be different. So someone out there might be like, I pay $3,000 for rent, but someone else could pay $700, and that's going to even out. But when you really want to talk about the cheapest places in the country to rent, and there's one city in Pennsylvania, Grove City, it's under $400 for a one-bedroom
Gosh.
apartment right now.
What?
$400. Yep.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
I mean, like 20 years ago when I started my reporting career, I remember paying about 400 for
Yeah,
an apartment. That was a long
I
time
don't think I've
ago.
ever paid that low.
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
goodness.
That's crazy.
But I'm seeing a lot of other, cities there, Arkansas, Texas, places in the
In the
south and
South.
southeast.
Yep, the South and
Yeah.
the Midwest is where you're going to find the affordable units. If you want expensive, I mean, I don't know why you want expensive. It's the coast. It's California, it's New York, it's Massachusetts. I think of the top 50 cities, it's all in 6 states, and
Yeah.
it's
The
those
cool
coastal
cities to live
areas.
in,
The cool
usually.
places.
Basically.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
If you
we
can
might be a
afford
little
it,
biased.
if you
We
can
are
afford it.
biased, yeah. Like long term, do you see this changing? Do you guys have forecasting that looks down the road?
I do think that we are going to see prices staying high, at least for the foreseeable future. The demand right now is just so high for people looking for apartments. As I mentioned, the housing market is so crazy. A lot of people are kind of getting priced out of areas that they want to buy in, so they're turning to rent, and it's just going to put more demand on that market. Also, the eviction moratoriums, when they expire, locally, there are certain areas that are more protected. The federal one is no more, and that's going to put a lot of people out and even just add more renters to that market. And some of those landlords that unfortunately had to evict tenants may be forced to price those units a little bit higher to make up for money that they weren't able to collect over the past year, year and a half, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So at least in the short term, we do expect those prices to stay up. What happens a year or two from now, we'll see, but expect those high rents to at least stick around for the rest of this year, early next year.
Okay, some good news for anyone who is looking right now. Arm yourself with that information and maybe consider a move to, where was that, Eastern Pennsylvania?
It was just north of Pittsburgh,
Oh,
Grove
okay.
City, Pennsylvania.
Hey, you know, Pittsburgh, it's nice this time of year. Get there before the snow.
Sure.
Exactly.
Okay.
Brian Carberry with Apartment Guide. Thanks for breaking down your study with us.
Thank you.
And of course, if you want to check out that full list of the 50 most expensive and cheapest cities for rent in the U.S., we'll have links to Apartment Guide for you on coin.com.